This is the limitless Keith Lee.
This is Brody King.
This is Angel Garza.
Will Ospreay.
Hornswoggle.
Pentagon Jr.
The Mexican Rey Fenix.
King Ricochet.
Concrete Rose, Sunny Kiss.
And I'm here to ask you to stop what you're doing, take just one moment, and bask in the glory of the Busted Wide Open.
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 Boston wide open.
Busted wide open. Thank you.
You're listening to the Busted Wide Open podcast, dropping the elbow on the hottest topics in sports entertainment and the world of professional wrestling. With your hosts, Nick Howell and Sir Ian Dangerous. Coming to you from the Orbital Jigsaw Network Arena in sunny Southern California. Welcome everybody to BWO Live, coming to you from across the Busted Wide Open universe of Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. This is episode number 347 of Busted Wide Open. My name is Nick Howell.
And right as I'm about to do something that's unadvisable but fun, I stop myself because I'm almost Sir Ian Dangerous. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am the number one contender to your hearts. We're here on BWO talking about Monday Night Raw, which went on last night and was, it was back in front of crowds, Nick. They were back.
And they were vocal.
They were vocal, and, you know, I don't
Shout out to KC, Kansas City, for showing up.
They did show up, and we have a lot of interesting aspects of that show to talk about because I don't know that the quality of the show has gone up, but the audience interaction has definitely lent a different view to the show. So I can't wait to get into that. A lot of the nonsense that happened over there on Raw. Plus, we're going to talk about a couple of shows over in New Japan. And a quick note, shout out to Matt Cardona, new GCW champion, winning over the weekend over Nick Gage with a little help from Ricky Shane Page. If you haven't seen the video of him winning, definitely one of the most striking wrestling videos you'll see in a while. Former Zack Ryder covered in blood being pelted with all sorts of trash in the middle of a GCW
match with
ring.
Nick Gage. Of course he is.
I mean, it's still that was a hell of a sight. They were throwing bottles and cups and pizza cutters.
Yeah.
As you do.
It's a Nick Gage match. As you do in a Nick Gage match.
You don't, man. You don't throw things in the ring. Like, don't get. It's funny. There's been a debate ever since that match about whether or not that crowd was out of line and throwing things in the ring. With a lot of people saying it was an awesome visual, and Cardona himself saying that it will live forever because of that heat. But other people like Dave Meltzer coming along and saying, you know what, that's actually not a good practice to get into. Like, once that becomes okay, you're going to see that at every match, and all it takes is for one idiot to not get it and throw like something that's actually really harmful.
Like a running chainsaw, we're going to have one guy that's brought a running chainsaw to a wrestling show. He's going to throw it in the ring, right?
All you need to do is just have that one, someone just to run into the ring with the truck.
Yeah.
And then everyone's just, wait, that's already happened, hasn't it? Spray everyone with beer.
Yeah.
Once it happens, then everyone's going to do it. And then everyone in every company wants to do it.
I think they've checked off all the boxes of things you could possibly do in CZW in some of their matches.
But my point is that the crowd, we have to not encourage people to throw things in the ring if you're mad. Like, I know there's a great visual when Hogan turned heel. I know it's a great visual here. But I got to say, I'm kind of on Meltzer's side on this, where that sort of thing shouldn't be encouraged, as cool as it looked. And as great of a visual as it was, and as much as you want that quote unquote kind of heat, it's the same thing as like rushing a ring. Like you don't want to encourage people to do that. It's not good for the wrestlers. It's not good for the other fans. It's not good for anybody.
Yeah.
But still, it was hella cool looking. And congratulations to Matt Cardona on becoming the new champ and getting all the heat that came along with it. Can't wait to see Nick Gage brush himself off and tear apart Chris Jericho tomorrow on AEW Dynamite. But Nick, we're not here to talk about any of that. We got to do some wrestling talk. So let's do a little business, and then we'll get into the wrestling.
Indeed. Thank you, Sir Ian Dangerous. And I would be remiss if I can have just a quick minute before I do the business stuff. I would be remiss if I did not tell a little bit of a tale here at the top of the show. We are a wrestling show.
Oh?
But today we lost one of my
One of my inspirations, one of my personal player heroes, we lost Joey Jordison. And a few years ago, we also lost Vinnie Paul.
Yes.
And as someone who played drums, I can tell you guys that the minute that I heard Slipknot's debut album was the day that I put the sticks down, because I knew I was never going to be able to play that well. And I have watched him go through some health stuff, which led to his departure from Slipknot. He started up another band himself, built the whole thing from scratch called Vimic, and they put out some interesting songs, still playing as strong as he was. But go back and listen to, if you're into metal, go back and listen to the Slipknot debut in the Iowa albums and pour one out for Joey Jordison, because he will go down for drummers in the same vein as Dimebag Darrell does for guitarists. Joey was an incredible drummer, an absolute savant with the sticks, and I'm going to be listening to Slipknot for the next couple of weeks, probably. So thanks, everybody, I see some well wishes in the chat and all of that stuff. 46 years old. Rest in peace, Joey. Hope you finally find some peace, brother.
Unbelievable.
Let's see. Costanza threw in 100 bits. That went to Raw last night. Crowd was pretty lit the whole show except for the Eva tag match. The crowd was hot for the Sheamus Priest match and popped hard for Nikki. Yeah, I think that's going to be part of the dialect you and I are going to have today about Raw, is what the crowd reacted to, and almost more importantly, what they didn't, or how they reacted differently than what we expected.
Yeah, it might be part of the dialogue as well, actually.
Yeah, true. Thank you, Costanza, and good to see you showing up there representing the BWO.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Kyle throwing 100 bits said at least it was plastic bottles instead of everyone throwing their chair like ECW. That's true. They did that was the ECW. They filled the ring with chairs.
And there was definitely some repercussions about that too, but that's a legendary moment as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Please stop throwing the chairs.
And then everybody throws their chairs, right?
Right.
Linktree.com/BWO. Thank you, Kyle. Linktree.com/BWO is the place to find all of our links to all of our things. Make sure you head over there, like, share, subscribe, follow, do all that stuff you guys know how to do. But please help us continue to spread the word of Busted Wide Open. It is appreciated, and it does make a difference. So the more that you guys can do that, it is appreciated. Thank you, guys. If you'd like to get in on some exclusives, head over to patreon.com/BWO or our YouTube channel at youtube.com/BustedWideOpen. Sign up for if you're watching on YouTube, all you got to click is that little join button right there. If you're go over to Patreon, you can have all the different tiers you can sign up for. You can get access to the ability to sending listener questions that we answer right after this show tonight on the BWO Mailbag, our weekly AMA show that we like to do here for you guys live as well, as soon as we're done covering Raw and other on Tuesdays. But yeah, thank you guys for the support. Thank you guys for all the bits and subs. If you're ever on YouTube, we see you guys. Thank you very much. Throw in the super chats. We'll read them out live here on air as well. But Ian, as you said, without further ado, we got a lot of wrestling to go over here, because we got to talk about what went down last night on Monday Night Raw.
Well, at the top of the show, we get to celebrate the new Raw Women's Champion, Nikki A.S.H. Nikki A.S.H, to make it easier to say.
Yeah, I just want to go with Nikki A.S. from now. That A.S.H. thing
that's a mouthful.
It's a pain in the ass.
And honestly, like,
it's a pain in the A.S.H. is what it is.
It's a pain in the. And here's the thing, like, it's not. I get it. The gimmick is not for everybody. We've been over this a few times since she debuted this gimmick. Like, just on the surface, you just immediately go, oh God, it's just so corny and so goofy. But Jesus Christ, this woman is infusing it with so much of her personal heart and spirit that you just, like, I as cynical and grumpy as I am typically, I can't help but be in love with her and this gimmick. And that's crazy to me. Every time she comes out and does this, I just sit there and I want to reject it. I want to reject the platitudes. I want to reject the simple-minded good-naturedness. I want to just be like Oscar the Grouch and be like, bah, humbug with this crap. But I can't, because she's Nikki Cross and she's too damn good at what she does. And it's starting to work. The crowd, she was over. We know she had some troubles on the house circuit this week, where she was getting a little bit of backlash. And I have a feeling Smarkier towns will definitely have more of an issue with it. But here in Kansas City, she was over as hell. Came out to a big pop and came out basically to say, hey, I proved it. If you dream it, it can come true. Just keep believing in yourself, have confidence, et cetera, all of that stuff. You knew it couldn't last forever, though. Her little victory lap with everyone behind her ended when Charlotte came out to be like, oh, Nikki, you're adorable. However, you don't deserve that. You just, you cheated and you cashed in the Money in the Bank on me. Woohoo. I'm going to get that back from you. And then Rhea comes out to say, well, actually, it's mine. Belongs to me. Well, Rhea, you lost it too, lady. You lost it straight up. So I don't know why you're still out here, but okay. So we have Rhea, Charlotte, and Nikki in the ring arguing about whose belt it is when obviously it's Nikki's right now. And out on Pearson's to awkwardly say, we hear your issues. We would like to make a match at SummerSlam. It will be a triple threat. All of you will compete in a match. To which Charlotte says, oh, yeah, well, I could beat her right now. And Nikki says, fine, you're on. And they say, this also sounds like a good match. You should have this in the main event.
Ironically,
because
Spectrum is messing up on you, and you are sounding like a Transformer robot as you're doing that.
Sweet.
It's fine, though. Keep
I
going.
knew Spectrum had my back. Crap-ass internet from crap-ass people with a crap-ass company.
Yep. This episode of Busted Wide Open is brought to you by Spectrum.
Yes. If you like sucking ass, Spectrum is for you. So all of a sudden we have Charlotte in what is billed as a number one contenders match when she's already been given a match at SummerSlam, and she has it versus Nikki in the main event. Rhea at the middle of the show says, hey, Nikki, yeah, I'll beat you at SummerSlam, but good luck tonight. Go get her. And we have the main event. Charlotte basically just beats Nikki's ass most of the match. Nikki gets a little bit of end, and then Charlotte just closes the door and just beats her. Beats her. Middle of the ring, clean as a whistle, no shenanigans. 1, 2, 3. Charlotte wins. And so immediately mocking Nikki, mocking the crowd like, this is your champ, you idiots. And then Nikki goes back in the ring and says, oh, yeah, well, I showed myself I can almost beat you. So next week I will beat you.
Oh, so we're going to do this again next week. Is that what?
We already have a rematch. We already have a rematch. A rematch of this match, which we'll see again as a triple threat at SummerSlam.
Here's what I got to say about that. It is... I think the crowd reacted mostly to the fact that this was the first thing that happened right after they got Big Pyro. Costanzo, please confirm in chat if you were there. But whoever comes out first, whatever big face, they're going to get one of the biggest pops. And this just happened to be Nikki A.S.H, who just happened to have the championship after her successful cash-in. First show back with fans. So we got this, right? And I'm part of me is sitting here going, do the fans really believe in this? Is this something that people really get behind? And I'm seeing in the chat that it's kind of a mix, that it's just temporary. It'll wash away in a couple of weeks. And the other side that's, oh my God, she believes it so much. We're into this, like you were saying, right?
Right.
I'm in that middle area somewhere. Like I'm looking at Charlotte going, that's a champion right there. I mean, that's a champion. Like, how long can this charade last? How long is this going to go on?
What Charlotte's saying. Right. And Charlotte's saying that, and like, it's hard not to look at it and go, I mean, she's not wrong. Nikki's undersized, dressed in a goofy outfit, and openly admits she's not really a winner. She's only doing this to be, to increase her confidence. And then Charlotte comes along and just beats the shit out of her.
Nope.
Leaves marks all over her chest, and Nikki's here just like, oh, yeah, well, that's your champion. I don't care if she won it in a fluke. Like, now,
Bobby Lashley
how are
won it
people
in
who
a
are
fluke.
behind Nikki going to stay behind her? Right. But she's still a champion.
Right.
She's been beating Charlotte and Rhea, obviously like with, crazy rules and whatnot, but for weeks. She beat Asuka straight up. Nikki pinned Asuka. So she's not nothing.
No.
But they got to make a decision if Nikki is going to be someone that overcome, like, this can't be an underdog story where Nikki gets her ass beat all the way to SummerSlam. Now, obviously, next week we have the rematch. Nikki could sneakily roll up Charlotte or something. I don't know. Just to prove that she's not. But if Charlotte wins again,
good old 50-50 booking. That's totally what I expect. And then does this lead all the way to SummerSlam in a triple threat match with the three of them?
But the big issue here, I don't think WWE thinks this, but this is the sort of thing they should be thinking about, is how do we keep Nikki Cross? How do we get her over with people that she's not over with now? How do we keep her over with the people that she's over with now?
Right.
And having her lose like this to Charlotte and then look pitiful afterwards, screaming about how she should have won. She's almost a superhero. She almost won. That makes her look ridiculous.
Totally.
And it makes her look pitiable.
Oh, well, I was almost a superhero, you guys.
Yeah.
I think they should do the other way around. I mean, it's fine to build her up as almost a superhero, but she won the effing title. She's a superhero now. She achieved a goal. She completed a mission.
And
right?
And Charlotte's saying, you didn't deserve to win it. I deserve to be the champion.
Of course.
And proves it. Proves that she's right, by the way. Something that we can look at Charlotte and look at Nikki and go, well, Charlotte looks like a champ and Nikki does not.
Well, that makes sense.
And then you have Charlotte just beat her and be like, straight up, she tells her on the show, you're pitiful. You know, you're not representing the company well or the brand well by being a champion and dressing up in that ridiculous outfit.
Right.
What, are you going to go on Al Roker dressed like that? No, I should be the champion. And at no point are you sitting there going, she's wrong. She's not by any stretch of logic wrong. So you have to have Nikki prove her wrong. But Nikki doesn't prove her wrong. Charlotte proves herself right. And we're left with Nikki squalling about it and getting her ass beat until the show's done.
Yep. Makes no sense. I liked the narrative they were going down. I liked where they were going with this, but Nikki had to win that.
How does this help anybody but Charlotte? Have Nikki win this one and Charlotte the second one if you want. But to show that Nikki is an underdog going into SummerSlam. But this is again where they're having people lose too soon. Right? Where they think the losses don't matter. And this is going to come back as a theme on this show of why are you having this person lose like this if you ever hope them to be over with the crowd again. And then you're going to come back later, because this is what WWE does. This is not just me spitballing. This is what they do. They come back later and they go, well, that person just isn't over with the crowd. I mean, you know, they lost a couple of times and they couldn't get the crowd back. It was crazy. No, they couldn't, because of how you had them lose. You had them lose like chumps. And then the crowd goes, wow, they're a chump. I don't want to cheer for them. I don't want to expend my energy cheering for someone who's then going to let me down. Why should I?
Why should I invest at all?
Why should I invest? And this has been one of the major flaws with WWE Creative for decades. Decades. The number of talent that have gone through WWE and been wasted because WWE can't seem to wrap their heads around how to get someone hot and keep them hot, especially baby faces, especially up-and-coming baby faces. Right. Jesus Christ, it's a littered field of dead in WWE Creative's wake when it comes to this particular thing. And seeing it happen again to Nikki A.S.H, which again is a gimmick that not everyone's going to get right away, but God, it's got potential. And you run it up against someone like Charlotte, who will get anything to do with herself over because she's that good. She's Charlotte. She'll be fine. You've got to then take care of Nikki Cross. You have to then take care of that Nikki A.S.H character when you have it up against someone like Charlotte.
It's why the cash-in on Charlotte was so monumental. It's why it works, because A, Charlotte will be fine, just like you said, but begs it that much more profound that it was Charlotte after going through a beatdown from Rhea Ripley. So
right. Rhea Ripley, they can't even get her right. And she's a much more easy concept to get over than Nikki A.S.H.
Totally. I want to talk about Rhea in just a minute. Let me catch up real quick. Brian, resubscribe with a tier 1 for 12 months. Oh, 12 months. You got that new bucket. That fancy bucket of chicken. Thank you very much, Brian. Appreciate that, my friend. Tier 1 for 12 months. Thank you for watching Raw, so I didn't have to, he said. Every week, my friend. That's what we're here for, brother. We got you.
What we do, sir.
We got you.
We do.
Sheppy threw in 100 bits, said, as I stated last night in Discord, another pay-per-view, another triple threat involving Charlotte. Can we get another script, please? This is getting old. Nope. She's got about 6 more titles reigns to break that record. So
that's the question. We're a few weeks out from SummerSlam. As of right now, triple threat at SummerSlam. Are they doing a triple threat? Because right now, Rhea's the third wheel here. Even though when Rhea and Charlotte are in the ring, Nikki kind of feels like the lesser than, although she, that was.
I would say Nikki is the third wheel, even with the championship,
which is crazy. That's not how your champ should feel, even if she is a underdog champ the way that Nikki is.
It was fine when it was Nikki and Charlotte going at each other in the ring, jaw jacking back and forth. I was fine with that, but when Rhea came out as well, I was just like, you got beat. So what are we doing here?
What are you doing here, Rhea?
Yeah, you're back of the line.
Why is Rhea still in this? Logically, and I know that's a silly thing to bring up. But no, okay, so it's happening. Triple threat SummerSlam. Why? Does Nikki retain because Charlotte and Rhea cancel each other out? Is Nikki there to eat the pin so that Rhea doesn't pin Charlotte and Rhea gets her title back?
No, I think Charlotte pins. I think Charlotte gets Nikki, takes Rhea out and gets Nikki in the figure 8. And she almost breaks the hold.
Almost?
Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
But
they should if Nikki loses this title at SummerSlam, you can almost take her out in the backfield and put a bullet in her head because that horse will be no longer worth a damn thing.
Yeah. Hey, Kyle threw in 100 bits, said, last night, as much as I love Nikki the person, when she said, I almost beat you after losing to Charlotte, the gimmick died for me. A plucky underdog doesn't work when they talk like a loser. And it's not going to get any better with Chicago next week. It's already hard with her standing in contrast with Charlotte and Rhea, who are way more over than Nikki is at the moment. This
Rhea
isn't
got
the gimmick.
A huge pop.
This isn't the gimmick you shotgun to the title, and it shows. This is early New Day bad. Props to Charlotte to try and get this over. Yeah.
Is Charlotte trying to get it over?
That doesn't appear to be the thing, but
I mean, honestly, I think the way that she phrased some of her insults, I thought contextualized Nikki well, and I think that definitely wrapping your head around what exactly the context of Nikki's character is going to be the thing that gets a lot of people invested in it.
Yeah.
So to that, I do commend Charlotte for choosing insults that do contextualize what Nikki is correctly. She didn't just burn her to the ground the way that like The Rock burned down Billy Gunn, right?
No, I was listening to Charlotte. And I was going, yeah, and yeah, that's right too. Yeah, and okay, and she just kept rattling these things off that were just okay. That's accurate. When are you going to start telling us the stuff that you weren't able to overcome Nikki because of X, Y, Z? Oh, she didn't. She lost. So that's my whole thing with this. This all would have worked. This would have been brilliant last night if Nikki had somehow come out of it with the victory. This whole exchange at the beginning of it would have been fine.
Exactly. Have her lose next week. Have Nikki just get that one win again, just to double down on it.
Or have her beat both of them on the way to SummerSlam, and somehow Rhea gets taken out, Charlotte taps out Nikki. I mean, you can have Nikki be this superhero all summer on the way to SummerSlam.
I agree that you need to make Nikki look like an underdog going into SummerSlam, especially if they're going to have her retain. So if you want her to retain at SummerSlam, you have to. You heard me.
You calling that shot now on your pick'ems?
I might.
Oh God.
I might. But the thing is, if that's what you're going for, then you build her this way. If you're going to have her lose at SummerSlam, having her lose right now like this, it's just, what are you doing? Why even bother? Why waste time and money with this character? Why put the title on her at all if you're going to do that?
There's absolutely
it would make
no
sense.
way Nikki is walking out of SummerSlam with the Raw Women's Championship. Period.
Are
Hard
you
stop.
are you saying 100% no right now?
100% no.
100% no, Nikki
We're a
Cross.
month out. 100% no. No way.
What are you willing to bet on that? What are you come on, put your money where your mouth is. If you're going to get so strident with it, you're going to not say you're going to say it's absolute zero.
If she makes it to SummerSlam with the title, I'll be pleasantly surprised.
Damn, you're saying she's going to make it to SummerSlam. They're
going to rip it off of her so fast after last night.
I need you to we need to put something on this. We need to put something on this here.
I tell you what,
100% saying Nikki will not be champion after SummerSlam. Either
Correct.
on the way there or at SummerSlam itself. She will not be champion after SummerSlam.
Here's what I'll do.
Okay.
I will. Ooh, I got to be careful with this one. I will allow you to pick from one of your bets that you lost in the last month's bonus episode to cash it in.
That is a bold assertion. That's a big one.
Yep.
That's big. Because I got some I didn't use that.
No, just one of the ones that you called that did not come out in your favor. You can take that punishment, if you will.
None of them have really started to happen yet, but
right.
Okay.
So they have to percolate, right?
If one fails, then I get to rescue it, basically.
Yes, it's kind of a reverse get out of jail free card in a way.
I got it.
You can reuse it.
Put you in jail for free.
All I'm saying is Nikki A.S.H is not walking out of SummerSlam as the Raw Women's Champion.
I just need everyone to witness that you're going big. Your mouth is writing some serious checks right now.
I am. I'm there. Back me up, chat. There's no way in hell this lasts beyond SummerSlam. It just can't. I think this was a shit show last night, and they proved it to us by having her lose. After all that talk at the top, there is just no way this lasts. I'm with you. Kyle said it's New Day, early New Day bad. Yeah, exactly. Look at how hard New Day had. They had to work for a year to get that over into unicorns and pancakes.
Right.
From the bad heel ministers they were in the beginning. Kyle also threw in another 100 bits. Said also listening to Nikki talk about how she pitched this gimmick. This isn't the idea she pitched. Fine with her losing for storyline purpose, but almost winning promo is DOA.
DOA. Yeah.
Yeah, you won. Like, you don't get to do that anymore.
No,
like they should. Like if they had this as a
lost
gimmick.
Straight up. I almost won. You know what? Everyone almost wins when you lose.
Yeah, that's called not winning.
It's called not winning. You know what silver is? The first loser.
If you ain't first, you last, Ricky Bobby.
That's right. It is. It's after gold medal. It's all participation trophies.
Right.
Sorry, silver medalists. Sorry, Anthony Ogogo. I'm a bronze medalist. Congratulations. You lost to two people. Like, that's what it means. You're not, like, if you lose, you lost. There's no, I almost won. Sorry, Nikki. You didn't almost win. Rhea is sitting there going, it's my belt. It's not your belt.
No.
You lost it.
Yeah.
To Charlotte.
Get off the
clean.
TV.
Sort of clean. You got your leg wrapped up, but you knew she was going to. You had a whole month of wrestling programming showing how Rhea knew all of Charlotte's dirty tricks, and then she fell victim to one of Charlotte's dirty tricks and lost the belt. Sorry. Thank you for coming. You lose. Good day, sir. Good day.
You drank the fizzy lifting drink.
Exactly.
Do not pass go. Do not collect $200 or the Raw Women's Championship.
Good day, sir. That's it.
Thank you, Kyle. Jesse O'Connor threw in 100 bits. Said, I mean, she did hang in the match for a long time with the best of the women's division. That's not the point. It would have worked if she hadn't cashed in yet and she almost had her and she almost beat her. That was a repetitive narrative that ultimately led up to something where she did actually beat her. But no, we just had her cash in right away and lose right away.
Wasn't there just a really big race recently, like NASCAR or Indianapolis or something like that? Wasn't there a really big race like that recently? Daytona?
That was in February.
Okay.
I mean, recently, subjective? I don't know. Depends on your...
Whatever. Daytona 500.
Yeah.
Who came in 5th? Do you know?
No idea.
I don't. But you know what? They hung in there with the rest of the crowd.
Yeah.
A lot of cars. They came in 5th. But you know what? No one knows who they are because they didn't win.
Yeah.
Even though they hung in there with everybody else. This is getting me fired up.
Yep. Good.
It's getting me fired up.
Costanza throwing 100 bits, said Nick Booking. I hear you, man. Thank you for being with you. Me and you, Costanza.
Yeah.
Me and you.
I got people in there with me, too, that say Nikki is retaining. And they're just
Ryan
doing
says he's with you. He can see Nikki retaining. Listen.
Yeah, they're doing a terrible job of making her an underdog babyface. It's what WWE does. They're terrible at making they're terrible at baby faces.
Yeah.
And when they finally nail it and get it right, a la Daniel Bryan, Kofi Mania, it's a beautiful thing. They're just not doing it right here. Plenty more to talk about on Raw, however, including there's a lot of you know that scene in Godfather, Nick, where he goes to see Sonny's body.
Yes.
Look how they massacred my boy.
Yeah. Look what they did to my boy.
His face gets all contorted. Look, my boy. Look how they massacred my boy. That was this Raw. There was a lot of look how they massacred my boy on this Raw.
Okay.
Bobby Lashley comes out to say that I heard him and MVP to say, yes, we heard Goldberg. No, we don't care. We're not going to even acknowledge his challenge. We got better things to do. But before they say what that is, out comes Cedric Alexander randomly to be like, yeah, Bobby, you ain't nothing. It's like, man, he's been beating your ass for months. What are you doing out here?
Right.
Well, it wasn't just him. Cedric Alexander. Sorry. Also, Shelton Benjamin. He also came out. Basically, the Hurt Business came out. They still hate each other, but they both got in the ring and were like, you ain't nothing, Bobby. And Bobby was like, I'll beat both your asses at the same time. And he did.
Yep.
Smashed him. Stacked him. Pinned him. 1, 2, 3.
A lot of Roman Reigns references in this dialogue right here.
Little bit.
Is that repetitive and redundant to what's going on SmackDown intentionally?
I gotta say, I feel bad look how they massacred my boy, Cedric. No, man. It's the Hurt Business. Oh, it hurts to see the Hurt Business treated like this.
Yeah.
But you know what?
What?
Damn good way to show your champion's a monster. Lashley looked like $1 million.
He has ever since he's had that title, frankly.
He has, but he really looks like, if you want to build him up for, the way that they still try to portray Goldberg, which is just such smoke and mirrors at this point. Like, You thought Goldberg was smoke and mirrors when he was at his peak. He is all smoke and mirrors now. But it's whatever. He still has the aura and the way that they build him up. So if you want to make Lashley look like an unstoppable monster, this was a great way to do it. Have him just beat up two young studs like this. I don't know if I can still call Shelton Benjamin a young stud, but I'm going to do it.
Bobby.
I'm going to do it. Guy looks great. But yeah, smashed him, stacked him, pinned him. That was it. Damn.
This, I got excited when this came out because I thought for a second, I had a glimmer for a second that, are we going to realign with? Are we going to rebuild the Hurt Business? Nope. Sorry. If you were one of those that felt that same way, I got some bad news for you.
Thank you, Wade Barrett.
Yes.
Speaking of Wade Barrett, former tag team partner Sheamus is currently your U.S. champion. And he had his first match back since having his nose splattered all over his face by Humberto Carrillo. And that match was against Damian Priest. We saw this coming for a few months now, Nick. It finally happened. Damian Priest versus Sheamus.
Couldn't keep it in their pants till SummerSlam.
Nope. Nor could they keep Damian Priest winning in their pants because Damian Priest beats Sheamus with a reckoning. 1, 2, 3. Sheamus crying about how his nose got rebroken. So at least the champion can somewhat be protected by the fact that he is still somewhat injured. But once again, WWE beating one of their own champions clean in order for the person who beats them to be the number one contender. This feels like one of those things that like WWE gets into tropes sometimes, where they just do the same thing over and over again. Yeah. I don't know if it's a Vince thing or if it's just like an establishment thing. I think it's a Vince thing. Vince just gets like,
well, he's got a list of things. Of gimmicks and finishes and DQs and all this stuff, and it feels like they just keep getting we've been here before.
Yeah, Vince has his things that he comes back to, his tropes. He gets into phases where he just loves something, and right now he loves beating his own damn champions. In order to if you want to get the belt, you have to beat the champion twice, which is just the dumbest booking trope. We called it out recently when it was on AEW as well, and I think it was Kingston and Pac had to beat the Bucks to face the Bucks, and we were like, at least over there they do it sparingly. Here they did it twice in one night, and they've done it that many times before.
Damn,
if not more. Like, what do you? Why? What is the logic in having your champion be beaten by someone in order for that someone to then have another shot at said champion, aside from, oh, look, the champion's vulnerable, this contender might have a chance, right?
But why would you not wait and do that when you could defend the title at a pay-per-view?
But that works sparingly.
Yeah. We see it in the G1. We see it in New Japan. We see it in AEW. Like it's not a WWE specific thing. It's kind of a wrestling thing, right? You beat the champ, you get a championship opportunity.
And every once in a while, that's fine.
Yeah.
But when it's done all the time, it makes your champions look weak. It means that like your champions can't defend the belts and their wins were flukes.
Yeah.
Is what it starts to tell the crowd.
Yep. So I guess we got tired of doing distraction finishes and DQs. So we've moved on to, okay, we have to establish number one contenders going into SummerSlam mode.
If it, even if it's one of the situations where they don't even have to book themselves into this situation, right? They don't even have to have the contender face the champion.
Yeah.
Have contenders face each other for the champion. What if Carrillo and Priest had to face each other and they're like, well, we both like each other and Sheamus is egging them on. And Damian Priest has to put down Carrillo. It's sorry, kid. There's a lot other stories to tell besides I beat the champion, therefore I can become the champion if I beat the champion again. It cuts down on the rematches, which are becoming a big problem again.
Yep. We're back to that from 6 years ago.
Back to so many damn rematches, week in, week out.
Let's see. Well, Costanza said something in the chat I wanted to read out because he was reporting from there. It says, Sheamus got so much shit for his mask breaking, he came out after the match and cut a great promo on the fans and ended it with saying, you all can kiss my pasty Irish ass.
I love that.
I would have liked to have seen that.
I love that they're allowing the stars to go for the crowd a little more these days. Like Charlotte saying, hey, watch it, you guys, or I'll give you guys the crotch chop again. You guys the suck it sign again. It's good.
Yeah.
Engage that crowd, baby. Get it.
He threw in 100 bits, also said, just thought of this, Lashley Reigns at SummerSlam, put it in my eye holes. Or Survivor Series, I think is probably what you mean by that double S. We had Reigns Drew last year, so it's not out of the realm of possibility that you could get two of the biggest monsters in WWE, frankly, in wrestling.
How do you book that one?
Ooh.
God, how do you book that one?
I'd do it at Clash of Champions instead.
Oh.
Instead of Survivor Series.
Nah, brilliant.
That is good. That's one you would do at a Big Four, though, for sure. Thank you, Stanza. Let's see. Kyle 300 bits said, can I just say, convince stop getting bugs up his bum. If I hear championship contenders match one more goddamn time, I'll scream, especially since he never paid off the first one with Shotzi and Tegan, who are number one contenders, and yet they do another for the women's tag titles. The last thing I needed was stakes to beat the champ during champ's dumb booking. Yeah.
Yep.
We're on it right now for sure. Thank you, Kyle.
So
Sheppy,
many contenders matches on Raw this week.
and we're going to probably do it all the way up to SummerSlam.
Oh, God.
Sheppy threw in 2 gifted Tier 1 subs. One of them to Tactical Panda 007. That is a fantastic username, by the way. Tactical Panda. And to JB herself. Got a gift sub. Thank you very much, Sheppy, for your gift
What's
sub.
up, JB, in the chat?
Everybody make sure you thank Sheppy for your gift sub if you got one from him. Let's see. Kyle gifted another 100 bits, said it's so lazy and you have no mid-card because of it. It's why the only notable thing on main Carrillo is notable for is getting his teeth knocked in by whoever the U.S. champ is for 3 months periods before disappearing. He didn't disappear. He didn't disappear.
No, he was on the show.
He was
Carrillo
shown
was on-
later.
He was on the show last night.
He has joined the Geek Club.
Yeah, down with all the other dorks running after the 24/7 championship. But we'll get back to that
I was like,
later.
wait, what happened to the U.S. title? You're down here now? Okay, okay.
Yep.
I just stopped asking questions.
On the upside, at least Sheamus and Priest put on a fun match.
It was beautiful.
Like we wanted to have them fight each other. They're going to have a feud. It's going to be awesome. I'm down. As much as I want to bitch about the dumb idea of having the champ get beat, it's Priest and Sheamus. This is going to be a badass feud.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
That's one I would build a stipulation around for SummerSlam. If you're going to have a stipulation match, make that a no DQ, make that a street fight, make that something.
Build that up. Well, hopefully Sheamus's nose is okay to do that kind of thing by then, but yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, he's still got the circles around his eyes and everything from it, so
yeah.
You're not healed. But yeah, I agree with you. Oh yeah, make that a beat 'em up match.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you everybody for all the bits and subs and everything. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Speaking of Sheamus, his former best friend / great feud from earlier this year, Drew McIntyre, has spun very far out of the WWE title picture. He's now feuding with Jinder Mahal. They crowed about how Drew McIntyre beat a poor man within an inch of his life with 34 chair shots last week. 34! They showed every single one of them, and not a single one sounded soft.
No.
God, he beat that man to death.
If you look at Veer's back, I don't remember, was it Veer or Shanky?
It was Shanky.
It was Shanky's back. It was beat up.
Yeah.
They were showing pictures of that shit, too.
Oh, yeah.
Is this what you want your Drew McIntyre, like your ultimate babyface prototype? Is this what you want him doing?
What is Vince's boner with taking, like, young wrestlers who were inexperienced and beating the absolute crap out of them in the ring?
I don't know.
Remember Dominic Mysterio last year?
Yeah, with the caning.
That was horrible.
Yeah.
Welcome to wrestling, kid.
Right.
Well, anyway, this week, Shanky wasn't there because he's probably still in a local medical facility somewhere. Out came Jinder to say, hey, Drew, I'm going to sue you. And look, I've got a smarmy lawyer with me. Yeah, that's right. You should apologize to me. Hey, crowd, tell him to apologize to me. Why are you booing? You should be telling him to apologize. Drew just saying, hey, tell your big buddy to get his ass in the ring. I'm going to beat his ass too. So Veer jumps in the ring. They have a short match before Jinder finally throws Veer a chair. Veer holds it up in front of his face. And Drew claymores him, and there's suddenly a DQ. And they say, because of a DQ, Drew wins. And then the commentary says, because of the chair, Veer wins, Drew loses, and we don't know who the hell won. And it doesn't matter because it's WWE anyway. And the whole point here is that afterwards, Drew grabs the lawyer guy and murders him.
Drew.
I mean, look. If this was meant to please the crowd, success.
Sure.
Crowd loved this. Drew being a badass, flipping the bird on Veer before he kicked him with the chair, beating up the lawyer. The crowd was like, yeah, kick his butt. Lots of butt kicking going on. Lots of Drew looking like an animal. So on that front, success. In terms of advancing this feud, didn't do a damn thing.
No physicality between Drew and Jinder. No additional heat or amping that up in any way. Like, okay, Drew's just going around murdering dudes. Murdering his posse.
Jinder went for a lawyer as opposed to settling this. And, he's like, oh, isn't he a scumbag? He went to the law.
he got one of them dirty lawyers.
Right. What a dick. What a heel.
Right. Oh,
you get a lawyer because this man assaulted his buddy. But, hey, that's what
tore apart his motorcycle.
Right.
It's actually kind of a smart move by
He
Jinder,
who
if I'm being
appeals
honest.
the law
who's the
against
face
his
and heel
fellow
in this
man
part?
is either a fool or a coward. He who cannot protect himself without said law is both. For a wounded man shall say to his assailant, if I live, I will kill you. If I die, you are forgiven.
Where do I know that from?
Such is the rule of honor.
Where do I know that from?
That's what we're going for here. This is Omerta. Drew's fully on. He's working through Omerta here.
Nice.
Like, how dare you go to the law?
Yes. Costanza throwing 100 bits. Drew is getting go away heat with me. There it is. There you go. Right there. Last point I was going to make about this was I'm kind of on Team Jinder. A guy tore apart, but yes, I provoked him a little bit with his sword and all that, but it was a fake one. He hornswoggled me and
he didn't do it,
right. That's why he broke my face. It was a fake sword, but then he went and tore apart my $100,000 custom chopper.
Right.
And he gave one of my buddies 34 chair shots in the ring, and I was in no position to do anything about it. So I went and filed, civil suit against him for all of this stuff. I'm kind of on Team Jinder. Drew's kind of being a dick right now. He's running around beating the shit out of my buddies, tearing my motorcycle up. All I did was hire an attorney to make sure that my rights were upheld.
Like, I'm kind of messing with my old dude from 3MB here.
Right.
And this guy goes and wrecks my personal property and puts a man in the hospital.
Of course I lawyered up. I would do the exact same thing. Does that make me a heel?
Let's be clear. What's a lawyer going to do? What is a lawyer going to do? Lawyers weren't called.
Sue you.
Lawyers weren't called when Roman Reigns backed Braun Strowman into a wall inside an ambulance. Lawyers weren't called when Randy Orton burned a man in the middle of the WWE ring.
Well, technically that wasn't a man. That was a demonic fiend from hell.
You're right. Sorry, my logic is flawed.
It's a WWE multiverse here, right?
I love it. I love trying to piece together the shambled fragments of logic that WWE keeps its product together with.
And after being burned alive, he returns only to be scared away by a little girl, and yet to be seen since. Some demonic fiend you got there.
WWE. Hey everybody.
Kyle throwing 100 bits at WWE, where baby faces are either loser geeks or, in this case of Drew, a complete asshole who threatens to beat people within an inch of his life unprovoked. What on earth does Vince have against referencing history between two people? This is so damn simple, this feud. You have an editing department who can inform people who don't know the history to it and use it.
You've got so much material. You're a company that prides itself on being content creators. You've got so much of it. Use it. Why not? You have a brilliant. I mean, they fired most of their team earlier this year, but oh god.
Calder another 100 bits said, "Can't wait until that unnamed lawyer is some bald, bearded, jacked up NXT champion in a few years."
Right. Well, he was on AEW Dark a few weeks ago. The actor who played him.
God.
Is that wrestler?
Thank you guys for all the bits.
Speaking of the parade of rematches that is WWE, AJ and Omos had another match against the Viking Raiders. And things went about the same, with Omos getting into the ring and causing the Viking Raiders to lose, with AJ getting the pin to end the match. But that was not all for AJ and Omos. Oh no. They ended up whispering over in the corner with Miz and Morrison later in the show, with Omos blocking the camera so that he couldn't see what they were getting on about, which was a nice move. And then later on in the night, Morrison and Riddle had a match. John Morrison and Matt Riddle, WWE. Come on. John Morrison and Matt Riddle had a match, which if you were imagining those two guys would have a good match, you would be correct. Those two guys together are just magic. Magic. And the only tragedy was that this match had to also involve a lot of outside interference and shenanigans. Although that was fun too, with Riddle Pele kicking Miz backwards over in his wheelchair to the crowd's absolute delight.
Mine too.
And mine as well. And then later on, Riddle got distracted because out came Omos and AJ. What was their brilliant plan that they had to go and conspire with Morrison and Miz about? Well, they were going to come out and Omos was just going to snap Riddle's little scooter in half. Just crack like a kid's toy.
It triggered my Fale Daryl PTSD, honestly.
Wow, it was that much, huh?
Yeah.
Well, It's okay. Daryl's fine now.
Well,
Nick, let it go.
Gerald. That's his cousin twice removed.
I'm just saying he's fine. I'm showing you he's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
The bottom line is that Riddle got distracted by this, eats a Starship Pain, which very impressively Morrison almost botched and then recovered from, which was damn impressive.
That's how athletic that man is.
It's insane. That guy is a monster. And ultimately eats a pin here. And then AJ and Omos beat up Riddle afterwards, hopefully leading us to RK Bro versus AJ Omos. We don't know. Where's Randy Orton?
I have no idea.
I can't find a single report on what's up with him. Everything I've heard is like he's not on the injured list, but he's not, like, it's not a wellness violation. Like, we're not sure what it is. No one knows where Randy went to. And it's not like he couldn't be used.
Yeah.
Just bizarre.
He would fill in, matches that we could have between, just sparring matches on the mic between him and AJ would be brilliant. Him face to face with Omos, just stuff like that.
Even just having if you didn't want to go out and wrestle, have him backstage, having a segment with Riddle.
Sure.
Where is he? This is one of those weird things, like with Keith Lee, where he just vanishes and no one seems to be able to get the scoop on what's really going on.
Apparently, he's doing TikTok dances with his wife, according to Marshall, and he is advertised for this weekend in Raw next week. So
yeah,
it's about time. SummerSlam season. We'll get him back for SummerSlam.
He comes back to avenge his boy Riddle. All right, cool. We may never know why he was gone. Maybe it was just personal time, wanted to hang with his family before going out on the road. In which case, cool.
Yeah,
we didn't need him.
Yeah,
just weird, but. Hope he comes back. We reform RK Bro. And
is it weird that I think Riddle's been doing better with him off TV?
How so? Because the two of them were brilliant together.
They are.
Riddle's been winning,
and I think it put Riddle in a position where he could really shine. And I'm not saying that they weren't brilliant together, but I think Riddle's been doing a bang up job of absolutely crushing his opportunity to run solo here.
And that dude is over.
Yep.
He not only had this match, but there was a dark match after the show went off the air for us, where Riddle teamed up with John Cena. If you want to know what they think of Riddle, they're having him tag team with John Cena.
Who did they face?
In live events.
Costanza, what was that dark match? With Riddle and Cena. Who were there? Who are they facing?
Go find that, man.
Because that'll be telling. Mace T-bar, he said.
Oh yeah, versus Mace T-bar. Thank you. About a 10-minute match, and then they had a bro off, and then hit the turnbuckles to pose together. So, yeah, there you go. We'll talk about Cena in a second, though. There's a couple more things we got to get to here. As mentioned earlier by Costanza, there was a women's tag match, Natalya and Tamina versus Eva Marie and Doudrop. It was about as exciting as you could imagine. Doudrop is great.
Yep.
Viper Niven is fantastic.
Yes.
And anytime she's in the ring was the best thing about this match. Natty tweaked her knee at one point, had to get out really quickly. Tamina came in, a little back and forth. Eva Marie tried to tag in for the pin. Doesn't get the pin, and then Lily, the doll, shows up on the Titantron mocking Eva Marie's videos, which I'm not going to lie, got a little bit of a titter out of me.
Lily Lucian.
Lily-lution. I'm everything. Totally mocking Eva Marie, which I hate that Eva Marie shit so much that it made me chuckle. And then, of course, Eva Marie got super kicked and rolled up by Tamina, and that was it. That was the match. Awesome.
Cool. This is
However,
going nowhere.
It's just, yeah.
It is absolutely dead in the water. They need to just move on.
Don't care.
Please don't make Dewdrop collateral damage with Eva Marie's demise.
I think it's a little too late. She'll be fine though. She's talented enough. I think she's liked it well enough. You know, she's the female Otis at this point.
That's a good point.
Speaking of tag teams, there's a new one. Mansoor and Ali had their first tag match, also against poor Mace T-bar, who made a bunch of little jokes and said how we're the lions and you're the antelope and we're gonna eat your little asses or something like that. I don't care. Those poor guys. Speaking of, look how they massacred my boy, Dijak.
Oh, poor
Look
Dijak.
how they massacred my boy.
Oh, Dijak.
But I gotta say, Nick, I dug this segment. Not because of how they handled Mace T-bar, not because of anything like that. It was because of the story they're telling with Ali and Mansoor, where Mansoor was outside the ring in trouble. Ali comes diving through the ropes to save him. Mansoor is so shocked and awed by how awesome this move was that his back is to the ring. Mace almost grabs him, and Ali goes, "Look out," jumps over Mansoor to get up on the ring apron and takes the hit for him, gets in a chokehold from Mace, and Mansoor, to save him, throws himself in harm's way, jumps on Mace, gets a quick pin, and then rolls out of the ring, to which Ali is just aghast, can't believe it, and then quickly, kind of recovers himself and goes, okay, no, enough celebrating. That was really surprisingly amazing, but all right, cool, we got to be serious. Keep your eyes on a swivel, kid, because this whole thing is I got to teach this kid the ropes of how dark this place is. But the kid is actually winning matches, and they're saving each other. Is this the redemption of Ali? Is that where the story is going?
Maybe. I'm wondering. I know we've got we're booking another Saudi Arabia event for this fall, November-ish, from what I understand. I'm wondering if they're going to build Mansoor into something so that he's a even bigger deal when he goes back over there.
I wonder. Yeah, they're going to Saudi Arabia, the 12th of August? Or October? Excuse me.
Something like it's October, November. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, it's in October, I know, but I couldn't remember when exactly.
Yeah,
but
I don't know. Is Ali's redemption arc? I mean, sure.
Here's the problem.
I mean, redemption from what?
From being an evil bastard. From being jaded and hating everything.
That by now. I've moved on. They should too.
Oh, that's the problem, is that you have to reinvest in the characters to care about this. And I have to say that just that little exchange made me invest more in this than anything has to this point. And that's all on the performers. That's Ali and Mansoor making me invest with their acting and with their physical portrayal of all of this. That worked for me. Costanza said that the crowd was dead for that too. Of course it's dead.
There's no story there.
What were we saying earlier? What were we saying earlier about how WWE is like, well, you had your chance and you didn't get over the crowd, so forget it. Why aren't you over the crowd? You're out there. Of course they're not. You guys have completely bungled these characters up until now.
I don't know.
So now it's up to them to get it back. Hopefully they can.
Yeah.
Mace T-bar, though, just Jesus Christ. Those, as I call them, Ascension, because they came out dressed all like post-apocalyptic now.
Yeah. No.
Or Descension. I don't know. What should we call them?
Some spinoff of Road Warriors.
Ascension.
The Load Warriors. I don't know.
The load. Big brown load warriors. Ugh. Bad.
I am still mad about what they did to Dijak. I'm still mad about how Retribution had so much potential, and it was bungled just like Sanity was bungled. That had the exact same potential. I don't know that I can move past this to care enough about that it's Ali's redemption angle. Like I am so burned by like the retribution stuff and what they've done to our boy Dijak that I don't know.
You like, as someone earlier who mentioned, like, WWE should use history more. Do you like how they used it in this match, where the commentary literally said, he just said, a lot of history between these two teams. It's like, that's
Really?
it? That's all you got?
Lot of history there.
A lot of history? What? That's all? Ali was the leader of a breakaway faction from that involved these two guys. And this is a lot of history here. Oh, my goodness. Graciousness. Any catching up to do, or should we?
Nope, I'm trying to fix your thing because Spectrum's being a brat again. Never mind. Don't mind me. Yeah, a little catching up. Kyle said, threw in 100 bits, said, at this point, I'm just preparing myself for the nightmare of the Lily versus Chucky network crossover. Kill me now. Yeah.
Still waiting on that, huh?
Yeah, I don't see that coming at all.
Dude.
Kyle threw another 100 bits, said, the one thing I actually enjoyed on this show, amazing how when you keep things simple, people can actually get over with Ali and Mansoor. If you saw the post-show clip on YouTube, the chemistry between these two is beyond lovable, with the mentee warming
Really
the
awesome.
master's cynical heart.
Yes. I'm kind of digging it. Nick, open your heart,
Is
Nick.
this some anime shit?
Open your heart
like
to it,
themes
Nick.
that you guys are into? Is that where this is coming from? Is this some Dragon Ball Z shit that I just don't understand? This is wrestling, goddammit.
I mean, a little bit. Yeah.
I don't need to see.
There's a lot of heel and face turns in anime. A lot of like heels who end up coming back and becoming face. It happens a lot.
Fix
happens a lot.
I'm not done bitching for the night, by the way. There's one more that I'm gonna really lay into.
All right. Well, before we get there, we'll talk about one more fun thing.
Okay.
R-Truth and Reginald having a 24/7 championship match. There's actually a match for the belt. And they left. R-Truth comes out. He's mic'd up. He's got the head mic on, rapping, and they leave the mic on the entire match, which was.
It was like
it was
NFL mic'd up. We could hear what was going on in the ring. I loved it.
It was weird. Dude, Reginald's a freak.
I've never seen anybody do anything like that
man,
before.
You've never seen Cirque du Soleil live?
Once. No, I'm just saying, I've never seen somebody come down the ramp and from the floor vault over the top rope. Not even vault. He just jumped.
He's using Kalisto's old trampoline, man. Come on.
Oh, well, I missed that then. I thought he just clean jumped over the top rope and did a side somersault while he was at it.
Oh, Nick. You're so sweet.
I
love it.
It's adorable, right? I'm so gullible.
It is. Aww.
Jay says, yes, you have Sin Cara. That's a good point. Sin Cara used to do that.
Yeah, Sin Cara. Yep. Yeah. I love that you just thought that he just elevated himself 10 feet in the air doing a side somersault. Of me.
Bullies.
Sorry. You're right. I'm sorry, Nick. You're so sweet and innocent.
At least I was half paying attention to Raw to see. All I saw in the corner of my eye while I was doing something else over here was this guy come flying over the top rope. Whoa! What was that?
Yep. Yeah, it was impressive as hell. It looked fantastic.
Yeah.
And then the match was more of Reginald just doing crazy, very incredibly athletic things to get away from R-Truth. And ultimately, I can't even describe some of the crap he pulled off in this match. Ultimately, flattening R-Truth, getting the win, and then all of the 24/7 jokers come in to get him. He goes flying over all their heads, goes flying out of the ring again, does one of those Ricochet things where he does like a flip out the ring. Ends up outside. Ricochet was way more slick when he did it in NXT.
Yeah.
But it's still, Reginald's still your 24/7 champ. This whole bit was very fun. And I can see now why they put that belt on him.
Yep.
I can see why Vince likes him. He definitely has a lot of charisma, a lot of physical charisma. And Vince is like, go out there and do Cirque du Soleil. Vince always said he's running the circus. You've got the clowns. You've got the monsters. You have the elephants, right? And you've got the trapeze artists, and then you've got the lion tamers. Here you go. Here's your tumblers.
Love it.
A guy literally from the circus. So, it was fun.
Marshall said, it's still real to Nick, damn it. But yes, it is.
It's It's still very real.
Still
to
very
me.
real to me. I take it very
And you're
seriously.
You're about to find out how real it is, because we're going to talk about Karrion Kross coming back on Raw after losing to Jeff Hardy in one of the most boneheaded booking decisions in recent memory. He came back for his rematch against Jeff Hardy. Only Jeff Hardy wasn't there to have a rematch against because Jeff Hardy's gone and caught himself some COVID.
Of course he has.
So
Because half the state of North Carolina won't get vaccinated.
Jeff Hardy's gone. Karrion Kross looks like a joke after last week. So what do? Well, who can we have him lose to? That was the initial thought. Karrion Kross was going to lose again this week. And then they were like, maybe we probably shouldn't. Okay, who can we have him beat to make him look strong now that people don't care because he already lost to Jeff Hardy? I know. We'll take someone else who's a fan favorite, someone else who we've pushed really hard and made look like a big deal, and then for whatever reason don't like anymore, and we'll have him kill that person. That person would, of course, be Keith Lee. We're going to have Karrion Kross come in and basically have the Bobby Lashley-Kofi Kingston match with Keith Lee, where Lee gets some offense in early, and then once they go outside the ring, Kross dumps him on his head and just takes over. And Lee he breaks out of a hold at one point, but never looks back. Lee just gets beat down for the rest of the match and ultimately taps out in the Kross jacket.
This same Keith Lee who Bobby Lashley couldn't even get the full Nelson on the week prior. I'm right, but Kross jacket, oh God, tap out. I'm reading that right?
That's right. So now to the average fan. Now to the average fan. Keith Lee, he got a good pop coming out. Guy who could have been the future of the company. Absolute blue chipper. Should be top of the list. They're bringing him back out after his absence, which I have to think was something that WWE didn't like. That's why they're punishing him now. Because that's the kind of petty company WWE is. They're bringing Keith Lee back out. And they're saying, hey, this guy has got, we put some equity into this guy. Let's spend it on Lashley. And then let's spend it on Karrion Kross, a guy who we've already bungled because we've had him lose in his debut match. And now he was already going to be a tough sell because he's a little bland. But now we're going to take down both of these guys at the same time. We're going to just crash these two smoking ships into each other.
Let them both sink.
And just see how fast they both sink.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't think that's exactly what they're thinking. That's what they're doing.
Somebody back there thought this was a good idea.
Yep. Somebody thinks it's a good idea to have Karrion Kross come out with an absolutely neutered, boring version of his entrance and thinks that's going to get him over with a crowd that doesn't know him.
Right.
Still wearing the NXT Championship belt, by the way. Making NXT look like a joke of a brand. This is your champion?
One of our lower mid-card guys beat him in 3 minutes last week.
Yep. Last time we saw NXT champions on the main roster, they were kicking the main roster's ass.
Right.
Now this is not oof.
Costanza threw in 100 bits and said
my
for
point.
you and Nick's F-bombs. Thank you, Costanza. I'm gonna pocket those away. I feel like I'm gonna need them for the second half of the year. Based on some of the stuff that might be coming. Let's see. Kyle threw in 100 bits said, in 5 minutes, I came up with a better idea than what they did with the same logic of beating the biggest guy you can in the room to reestablish themselves. Have Kross kill the Viking Raiders, cost them the titles, and then kill them in singles the next 2 weeks before Hardy is back to make him an example. Lee getting jobbed, I can't help but think, is let's have him lose now. We can reheat him when we have something, which is just stupid logic. It is the dumbest, stupid thing that they could have done with Keith Lee on his return.
This feels like Keith Lee pissed them off. They're going to burn him out, put him in catering. We're never going to see him again. That's what this feels like. And honestly, if they'd had Kross kill both of the Vikings or cost them the victory and then start beating them one-on-one, Nick would have been pissed about that because then that's War Machine. So
War Machine forever. I don't.
Raw.
This doesn't help either one of these guys. This doesn't help the fan base. This doesn't help the roster. This doesn't help NXT. Somebody back there thought this was a good idea, and I want to walk up and backhand them and help them understand the talent that is in the pinky fingers of these two gentlemen.
And not only that, but the way this match was worked. I mean, these guys have had a match in NXT. Remember how lightning in a bottle that match was?
Oh.
How electric that match was?
And
it was
the stuff
scary.
with Dijak, where he was murdering Dijak, and Lee had to watch.
But look at the disparity between how matches are worked in NXT and how they are in the main roster. These guys, it just was a sluggish match. There was no intensity. There was no intent. It was felt very plodding.
I'd love to hear from Costanza. Like, how did the audience react to these two guys coming out? Like, were they over with the crowds? Do people know who they are?
I'm pretty sure he said that there was a big pop for Keith. But it's
Keith Lee's one of the biggest indie darlings of the last 5 years. I don't understand how anybody that watches or keeps up with any kind of wrestling that's not just WWE all the time doesn't know who that guy is.
But it's indie wrestling, dude. That's the whole point. It's under the radar. Like that's not the point. The point is how they're handled once they're on the main roster. And that's just the tale as old as time with WWE. How do they do once they get to the E? And with Keith, like, obviously he's pissed them off. They're going to bury him. We'll see how far they're going to bury him, if they still see any equity in him whatsoever. This was meant to get over Karrion Kross. This was meant to be the redemption from last week, which we said they're going to do. Well, they're going to have him lose to Jeff Hardy, but then he's going to come back and murder Jeff next week. Still, it's stupid. There's just no excuse for it. There's no excuse for having Kross lose to Jeff Hardy in that way and then come back for redemption the next week. And now that Jeff Hardy wasn't even there, it totally blows up their plans to begin with. So Kross's whole thing is dead on arrival. Kross himself is dead on arrival because the stupid decisions they've made in how to present him. Keith Lee is now on the downward trend, so they're having Kross take Keith down with him, and vice versa. This is the bottom of the barrel, for me, in terms of WWE and what they're doing right now. This is the worst of WWE. If you talk about criticisms I have for WWE, this kind of bullshit is my least favorite stuff that they do that's just wrestling and booking related. It makes me insane.
Yeah.
It makes me insane. And this goes back to the top of our show, talking about Nikki and Charlotte. How you present people. You are spending how much money to employ these people. You have so much talent. And all you have to do is, even in a loss, present some of these incredibly talented people as people worth keeping focus on. Why should I care about them after this loss? And there's none of that. They're tossed aside like nothing. Oh, well, he lost. What a loser. And that's it. There's no meaning to Keith Lee, to Kross losing to Jeff Hardy. There's no purpose behind it. There was no thought put into why that should be, because there was no build for it. And then there was no execution after the fact. There's no reason why Keith Lee should have lost to Kross here without any meaning.
Yeah.
Without meaning, it's just a loss, and then Keith Lee's a loser and ultimately falls down the card. People care about him less and less, and he won't be getting those pops coming out anymore.
I would have rather had Kross come out and kind of poke fun at Jeff. Oh, maybe he got drunk in Concord, North Carolina again. Do something where he calls it out. You know what? Open challenge for the NXT Championship. Boom, out comes Keith Lee, and they have a baller match and steal the show. Why the can't we do stuff like that? Why are we doing it this way? It's not hard.
You'd think. Costanza cheered 100 bits. He said he should have been in his last comment. His last comment was he cheered for Kross, but no one else did. Yeah, of course not. Why would anyone cheer for this guy?
Yeah.
Why would anyone care about this guy the way they presented him?
Kevin Owens is still the best example of how you bring an NXT champion up to the main roster. You know what? You walk out and you have them beat the actual I guess he was U.S. champion at the time. Beat John Cena. Forget what title he had around his waist. You come out and you beat John Cena in a crazy fluke debut.
Look how they debuted Keith Lee. What an incredible debut last summer. And then they didn't know how to book him after that.
Yep.
They just brought him up because
you're
Vince
too
was like,
big.
ooh, shiny,
change your wardrobe, change your music, change everything.
Change everything.
Go to school and lose some weight.
Shiny new toy. Let me play with it till it breaks.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
So Raw last night, has it improved with the crowd return, or is it same old crappy Raw? At this point, like we try. God knows we try to be positive on the show and not like just be down on everything. This has been a pretty negative show today, and I hate that. I don't like being a show where we just go rah rah rah, meh, get off my lawn about everything. I don't like when we're like that. But here we are, and we've just bitched our way through an hour worth of our show, about 3 hours worth of Raw. Why is the crowd helping at all? Is it like what's going on?
I don't think it's been long enough for the crowd to make a difference yet, for the mob to have to exert their influence. I think we said this as well. I think there's going to be a period of time where it's just crowds coming back to arenas, and it's going to take a minute for
and they're just happy to be there.
It's gonna, before they become the sixth man or the main character of WWE, so to speak, right?
And to your point of the crowds having an effect, I'm already like, and this is one of the most pitiful things about WWE is when they pump in the crowd noise. They fake the crowd noise, right? And like that's such a sign of their lack of connection with their actual audience. Oh, you guys are the extra superstar. You're the WWE Universe. Yeah, and you pump in crowd noise over them. What does that tell you?
Yeah.
What does that tell you about how that company feels about its fan base? Where they can't trust them to give them the reactions that they want because they can't engender those reactions. As a company, they don't know how to get the reactions that they want, so they fake it.
Let's get to Chicago next week, and then whenever Philadelphia's on the stop, and like New York, and let's find the real marquee crowds and see how that goes before they start chanting CM Punk and what chants and all of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
I mean, CM Punk chants are coming back next week because I mean, to close out the segment here, we have to talk about it because it's being requested. I don't want to spend too much time on it because it is just a rumor right now. There's nothing confirmed. Daniel Bryan and CM Punk, given that we're going back to Chicago next week,
right? Are
they going to AEW? Did they sign? I'm hearing some pretty solid 100% kind of stuff from the journos that Daniel Bryan's a sure thing. Punk.
Yeah, I've heard the Daniel Bryan thing's a done deal, but nothing has been 100% confirmed. But like a lot of them are like, we're pretty sure he's signed.
Yeah.
Like guys who would not stake they wouldn't say that. They wouldn't say unless they were pretty sure.
Yeah.
But no one's saying 100%. But all the trustworthy ones are saying we're pretty sure it's a done deal. CM Punk, no one's sure. They are 100% that he's been in talks with AEW, but there's no confirmations about anything else that's happened. But
maybe replace JR on the desk?
No, get out of here. That's the one thing you go for?
I mean, it's time. We all know. Yeah, Punk is
not seeing
is believing. Totally, I agree with that, Marshall. With the minute I hear Living Color and CM Punk, I don't even know if he could use the Living Color track.
He can't. What are you talking about?
The minute I see CM Punk walk out on Dynamite, I'll believe it. Or Tony Khan himself tweets, CM Punk is all elite.
I need you to understand something, though.
Yeah.
If CM Punk is a lock, or if he is in the company, if he and Daniel Bryan are in the company, All Out is taking place September 5th in Chicago.
In Chicago.
Like right next to Chicago, Now Arena.
Which, in case you don't know, if you don't know, you don't know, that's CM Punk's home. That's his backyard.
That place is going to come unglued.
Oh, yeah.
If they can pull that off.
Oh, yeah.
Even an appearance. He doesn't sign. Just an appearance.
Just do an Andrade. You know what I mean? Just come out and go, what's up? And turn around and walk back out.
Yeah, right. I wonder if he'd come out to Rancid. He's a big Rancid fan. Anyway, the bottom line is to comment on that. Yeah. D-Bry looks like he's a done deal to AEW.
How do you feel about
that?
No
100% confirmation. Fantastic.
Good for him. Is mine.
It's going to be really. I wonder if the yes chants will follow him.
Yes, they will.
You know, like We the People, right? He was like, no more of that. We don't do that anymore. The yes chants, I think, are owned by WWE.
You can't trademark the word yes.
I just think he can't do it. He's going to have to find something else. But he's going to be Bryan Danielson anyway, the American Dragon.
Yeah.
Which is just, God, all the matches he can have on that company. Jesus Christ.
Just line the card up. I'm done.
That could be, by the way, if both CM Punk and Bryan go to AEW, that might be the Lex Luger goes to WCW of the war.
Death knell kind of thing, right?
I don't know about death knell, but like,
it's a warning bell. It's like, y'all better do something.
Begun these Monday Night Wars have.
Kyle's run 100 bits said, if Punk and Bryan in AEW, AEW will beat Raw in overall ratings by the end of the year if things stay static.
Yeah.
I think
they go there.
I think the move of NXT to Tuesday has backfired. AEW has no competition on Wednesdays, and now they're putting a show on Fridays starting in a couple of weeks. After SmackDown goes off air, it's going to be interesting to see if there's wrestling fans on at 10 p.m. Eastern to watch another hour to 2 hour show. But, I mean, they're now going to have 3 to 4 weekly pieces of programming that all not including what's going on YouTube and social media. If you guys didn't think AEW was serious, they're not f***ing around.
No.
Oh, man. Thank you very much, Kyle. But, guys, that does it for Monday Night Raw, but we're not done just yet. We have got to go over and catch up on something we hadn't talked about in a minute, but there have been some things going on, and that's not just the Olympics over in Japan. That is New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Well, we just had Wrestle Grand Slam, and Summer Struggle has begun. Multiple date show, Summer Struggle. But I got to say, Nick, overall, the reason we haven't really been talking about New Japan is not a lot's been going on that's that good or interesting over there.
Well,
Things
it wasn't involved with the Forbidden
shuffling
Door.
Around. And I feel bad because, ever since Shingo Takagi won the title, which was awesome, my boy, they've had a lot of problems. Like COVID has been messing up Japan a lot, and a lot of the restrictions. They've had a bunch of their wrestlers get sick. Both with COVID and in the case of Kota Ibushi, who was supposed to be the next big match for Shingo Takagi this last weekend at Summer Struggle, at Wrestle Grand Slam, he got aspiration pneumonia. So he couldn't face him, so they got Hiroshi Tanahashi to come in instead, which I thought that's a brilliant save. I mean, Tanahashi's the damn ace.
Yeah.
And he steps up and he goes, "Hey, it's Tokyo Dome. I got this. No problem." So Tanahashi and Shingo had a match, and it was brilliant. Best match on the show.
I think it was the New York Times that put out an article this week, or was it yesterday? Maybe it was yesterday or over the weekend, that said nobody's attending the Olympics, but hey, don't sleep on Japanese pro wrestling. That's where people are really going.
Right. And they are.
Yeah.
Still there. Can't yell.
I gotta say, if I somehow figured out how to go over to the Olympics in Tokyo, I'd be trying to figure out how to go to the Tokyo Dome.
Yep. I would have gone to this show.
Yep.
There was a couple of great matches. There was some terrible matches. Jesus Christ. The opening Battle Royal was just awful. Probably one of the worst New Japan matches I've seen in years. It was so bad. And it was for the King of Pro Wrestling title, the Toru Yano has been having since last year. About a year he's almost held it. No longer. He lost it to Chase Owens, of all people.
That guy hasn't won anything in years.
Well, he has now.
Chase Owens is the new King of Pro Wrestling?
Yeah. With a package pile driver.
Oh, my God.
Chase Owens is your King of Pro Wrestling. I mean, it's always been a joke championship, but apparently that continues.
That works when it's on Toru Yano. I don't know if that works with Chase Owens.
We'll find out. We're going to have to find out because now it's his.
All right.
El Phantasmo had a match with El Desperado for the Junior Heavyweight Championship.
I haven't seen this yet. I'm okay with the spoiler. I just can't wait to see how this match went down.
It was badass.
Oh.
It was a badass match with El Phantasmo winning and becoming the very first Australian to hold gold in New Japan. Congratulations to him. Nicely done, Fantastic.
Jay White's had the title.
He's Kiwi. He's from New Zealand.
No kidding. Okay. Huh.
Yep.
All right,
So
then.
way to go, dude.
Nice.
We also had a really long, I think it's set a record, longest tag match ever in the history of the Tokyo Dome. Naito and Sonata versus Dangerous Techers. Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. Naito and Sonata have had these belts for 2 weeks. And they lost them. They lost them again. You got to be kidding me.
LIJ's falling apart.
The tag division in New Japan has always been a little bit spotty,
Yeah.
but my God. At least it was a damn good match, but it's just the way that they handle the belts, it's just the division isn't very big. It's just not very good. It's crazy to say this. You really feel the loss of the Young Bucks.
I mean, it hasn't always been spotty. I mean, look War Machine, Young Bucks,
No,
Guerrillas of Destiny.
They're all gone.
I know.
Guerrillas of Destiny are still there, but
They got new
it's
haircuts
basically-
and shit, so I don't even know who they are anymore.
Yeah, I don't even recognize.
It's like I don't even know you.
Yeah, hopefully they come over and get involved with AEW's tag division because my God. So yeah, and then of course, as I said, Tanahashi and Shingo in the main event. Brilliant main event as always. Tanahashi is just he is a god of wrestling.
Yeah.
He might be one of the greatest wrestlers to ever have done the sport. The fact this guy can still put on matches of this caliber on a moment's notice. Yo, dude, you got to go put on a classic with our champion. Okay,
Cool.
done. And now him and Shingo are 1-1. Shingo does, of course, retain the belt. And Shingo says, I'll see you down the road, Tanahashi. We're 1-1. Can't wait for the rubber match. Me neither. And as he's saying goodnight to the crowd, thank you for showing up. Thanks, everybody. Tip the waitress. Try the liver. Out comes Evil. Evil to say, I got next. So we'll see Evil versus Shingo in September.
Okay.
And then also on this card, by the way, there was a tag match. No, let's see, it was a singles match. Okada beat Jeff Cobb, but it was like a flash pin. It was a really quick pin, like a roll-up. And Cobb was like, I can't take this anymore. I'm going back to the States. So he leaves. He tells everyone, I'm going back to the United States. I'm done. Showed up at Summer Struggle, gave Okada an absolutely monstrous ripcord tour of the islands. Monstrous. Such a cool move. That feud's still going. Jeff Cobb and Okada are going to come to a head at some point.
I am not mad at that.
Love the fact that they're having a beautiful feud. Beautiful feud. And our boy Jeff Cobb is getting some love from another one of the greatest wrestlers to ever do it in Kazuchika Okada. Speaking of Okada, August 1st, he's having a match with Yuya Uemura, who I've gone on record as saying will be the next big thing in New Japan. He will be a future New Japan IWGP Heavyweight Champion. He will be top of the card. That guy is incredible.
Looks amazing.
He's got everything.
Yep.
He's going on excursion.
Mm.
He's having his go away match, his bye bye match
With Okada?
is against if that
Of course it is.
if that doesn't tell you what they think of him in New Japan, I don't know what to tell you.
Made man.
They're sending him off with a match against Okada. Also having a really awesome match, a goodbye match that night, is Yota Tsuji, the big hoss of a man, who's having a match with Naito. That's his goal. So both those dudes getting some love from New Japan on their way out on excursion. When they're coming back, they'll have a full gimmick and everything, and I cannot freaking wait for both of those two guys to come back because holy crap, blue chip all day long.
I'm anxious to see what they do with Uemura's gimmick. What faction does he align with? That kind of stuff. That's the things that I'm curious about because that'll kind of guide our thinking about where they're going with him, of how all of that stuff lines up. Hey, Jacob threw in 100 bits and said, guys, Robbie Eagles won the junior belt. El Phantasmo is Canadian and defended the junior tag belts.
Excuse me, did I say El Phantasmo? Hold on. Checking my notes.
Yeah, you said El Phantasmo becomes the first Aussie.
Well, I screwed up.
Oops. Thanks,
My
Jacob.
apology.
Appreciate it. No, guys, welcome that. Anytime that we misspeak or say something, please correct us so we can correct it.
Sorry, Phantasmo was in the tag team championship match. Robbie Eagles, blah 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 blah. Robbie Eagles, who is Australian. Thank you. Good guy. Phantasmo, bad guy. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacob. Kyle throwing 100 bits.
Jeff Hardy.
I feel bad for
Jeff Hardy.
I feel bad for Despy. Hiromu gets healthy and he drops the title when he can finally face his rival as champ.
And to be clear, he dropped the title to Robbie Eagles, who's an Australian, also the first Australian to ever hold the belt.
It's okay. It's okay. Also got to jump over here to before we go to the mop. I want to catch up with Jay over in YouTube. Dropped a $5 super chat. Thank you very much, Jay. Said AEW is already beating Raw and SmackDown in the demos.
In the demo. Yeah, the kids.
The demo.
The kids like
talking about the demo.
Talking about the demo. Boom, 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 boom. In the demo.
I think if WWE, not to get back on this soapbox, but if WWE doesn't figure out how to make Sasha Banks, if WWE doesn't figure out how to make some institutional changes and continue to ride on the same laurels that they have for the last 20-something years, there's going to be a reckoning. And something is going to happen. You now have multiple billionaires backing AEW. You have a group of people that really know how to get to the marks and their target audience. They have a plan. WWE is tearing up scripts an hour before show. There's no plan. They have no.
There's a plan.
They have no idea other than Goldberg and Lashley
the top guys.
And Roman and Edge, or not Roman and Edge.
Seth and Edge.
Seth and Edge. Thank you. What they're going to do for SummerSlam. There's no plan, and frankly, it can still change between now and then. I guarantee you that there's at least a rough outline of what AEW wants to do for the next year. And that's the thing they've got to be sweating in WWE is like they got a plan. This Hangman Omega thing is going to put them into the stratosphere, just like it did with Omega Okada. It's going to take the marquee.
I'm not going to weigh on this now because we could get back into such a thing about this Nick right now, but we are behind.
Yeah.
And we spent a lot of time and vitriol on all this today on our show.
Yeah.
So instead
Thank you,
of
Jay.
diving back into that, thank you, Jay. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate it. Instead of doing that, we'll discuss that another time, or perhaps even on the mailbag if someone asks us about it. But for right now, instead, we have to go do a little segment we like to call our moment of positivity.
Mop.
The mop, the moment of positivity. That's right. It's a time on this show where we, do away with all of that negativity that we've had for the rest of the show and just woo-saw, put it aside. And we try to find something positive to talk about that happened over the last few days of wrestling. Yes, something that we can smile about, laugh about, and share with all of y'all. Hopefully make you smile and laugh as well. Send you back out into the world with some good, positive feelings. So, Nick, what was your moment of positivity for this week of wrestling?
You know what it was? It was that I believed in my heart of hearts until y'all some bitches told me different that Reggie actually jumped and cleared that top rope. I believed it. I bought in. Like I was hook, line, and sinker. I was there. And that segment between him and R-Truth was so fun.
You believed you could touch the sky. You dreamed about it every night and day. Reggie just took it and flew away.
Yeah, definitely the R-Truth thing with him having the headset on. Like, was he supposed to take that off before the match and he just didn't? And they just rolled with it because that was genius. I absolutely no, Anna. So you and I, darling, are on the same page. We are on Team Believers.
Yes.
We are forgetting the fact that there was a trampoline ringside that Sin Cara used to use to jump over the top rope as well. I actually believed in my heart that Reginald did a side somersault from the ramp over the top rope into the ring and landed it. And even Ricochet in the back was going, damn.
He tweeted about it afterwards.
Yeah. It was magnificent. That was, and just the bants between R-Truth. R-Truth's ability to work a hot crowd like that is second. I love it. And all of that. So that's mine. Even though it is surrounded by the 24/7 championship and the Geeks, that whole thing between R-Truth and Reginald, finally they got something Reginald can do that doesn't involve Nia Jax or Shayna Baszler or Carmella. How about you, Sir Ian Dangerous? What was your moment of positivity this week?
It's got to be Matt Cardona winning the GCW championship.
Hey!
I thought that the whole feud that he and Gage have engaged in has been so much. It's felt so organic. It's built up so nicely. It's just it's once again proving that Cardona is the master of the internet. Like it's pretty crazy how that guy him and Gage have both manipulated just this whole story and kept it evolving and kept it moving. And then he is just so hated by that crowd for being from the Fed and being, this big, jacked, good-looking dude, which is the opposite of what all those deathmatch guys want to see. They want to see, I don't know if you saw the entrance that Nick Gage had, but that guy is just so over with his own fans. It's crazy.
I can't wait to see the match tomorrow night. But no, I haven't seen this yet.
Free on YouTube. I think it got posted in our group. It's free on YouTube.
Okay.
So definitely worth checking out. And props to Cardona for taking those bumps, man. That's no joke.
Damn.
Bleeding all over his hotel bedroom sheets. Chelsea Green was posting pictures of afterwards. It's gnarly.
Oof.
Gnarly. Oh, sorry. Anna, you're right. He is the internet champion.
Yes.
And the master of the internet.
Yes.
He's many internet things.
Kyle threw in 100 bits, said, my mop is Cesar Dunn, formerly known as Dario Cueto.
Yes.
In front of fans. I got chills watching MLW's Battle Riot as Duran said, welcome back, believers. Oh, man. I just makes me want to go, Lucha, Lucha.
They were there doing it. They were chanting Lucha, Lucha, Lucha for him, man.
Just go. It's on YouTube somewhere. It's called Cueto's Theme, I think is the name of the track. That's the one that is so good. Yeah.
I just can't wait till they grant someone their first unique opportunity.
Ring the bell!
All right.
Getting carried away.
I'm all fired up. Getting fired up. That's a good one.
Yes. Thank you very much, Kyle. Thank you, everybody, for all the bits and subs today right here on Twitch. Thank you, Jay, for that super chat over on YouTube. And for everybody watching on YouTube and Facebook, thank you guys so much for joining us today. We're not done. We're going to take a quick break after we do the outro here, and we'll be back for a whole other show called the BWO Mailbag. If you're not familiar with it, it's a weekly AMA show where we field questions from our supporters across YouTube and Patreon. If you guys like to get your questions in every single week, you can head over to linktree.com/BWO and click on that Patreon link. Sign up for one of those reward tiers, or come over to YouTube and just click that join button that's at the bottom of this video or any of our other videos on the channel. And you can sign up for any of the, all you got to be in is the $5 tier a month. So 4 to 5 times a month for that $5, you can send in your questions every single week. And you get to take advantage of that. Plus, there's bonus episodes at the $10 tier, Skype calls, all kinds of good stuff. Hell, make your own segment in one of the tiers, which we have to work on that with Mr. C. Jinx
yes, we do.
this week and get that sorted out for him. But yeah, guys, at linktree.com/BWO. We're going to take a quick 10-minute break. We will be back. Let's call it at 10 till the hour here.
Yeah.
But until then, my name is Nick Howell. You can find me on Twitter at DataCenterDude.
And I'm Sir Ian Dangerous. You can find me on Twitter at Sir Ian Dangerous.
But by God!
Would somebody stop this damn match?
This show is part of the Orbital Jigsaw Network. For more episodes, subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher Radio. For details and show notes from each episode, check us out, orbitaljigsaw.com.